best bet, if you can, is to try and develop a program that gets as much done with as little volume as possible, and as little, your best bet is kind of, I remember speaking to some old high intensity training, the one set to failure aficionados, and their whole deal was to, if you were to, and the way they used to explain, inroads to your recovery abilities and building back stronger was, the example they like to use was, if your body was kind of on an even keel and your workout created an inroad that sort of, let's say, dug a little hole, and then when you rested, recovered, and rebuilt, it not only filled up that hole, but it created a pile on top of that. Your idea is to dig as little of a hole as possible that creates as big of a pile as possible in the end. And that's kind of what you need to do. The one thing that, the one thing with strength conditioning training for sports, and not just martial arts in general, but in any kind of sport, is there are a lot of different dynamics that you have to look at in that, and you have to account for all these things. Number one, it will depend on what level of athlete you're dealing with, but if you're dealing with athletes, let's say, on a real high level, in fact, a buddy of mine who trains some professional athletes was actually talking about this yesterday, many of them are prima donnas, and they think that strength conditioning training isn't necessary, and they're so damn good that they don't need to work out, and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? You might have the genetic gifts to be able to perform at a high level at whatever you're doing, but that's not going to last forever. You get out of your mid-20s, maybe even your late 20s, and you damn well better be in shape. But at the same time, on the flip side, you've got guys that think that they can go into the gym and they can just get big and they can get strong, and they're automatically going to be a great player at whatever. And that's not the way it is. The thing that people need to realize is your sport practice, and again, this goes not just for martial arts or MMA, but for any kind of sport, your sport practice, your skills training, that needs to be your number one focus. So what you need to do is you need to be able to create a strength conditioning program that will allow that player to go into their skills training and perform that skills training at a higher level, so that when they actually get into their competition, they're now competing at a higher level. So really, it's a matter of being able to tailor a program. Of course, your best case scenario is always to tailor a program around a specific individual's needs, although you can't always do that. So it's a matter of trying to develop a program that really, again, just gives you the most bang for your buck, so that the trainee can get in there, work hard, and get out without killing themselves, without, as you said, without being super sore. But ultimately, it's going to have to come down to that athlete. If that athlete doesn't realize the importance of strength conditioning training, it doesn't realize the importance of not only what they do, but how they're doing it, they're not going to get anywhere anyway. So one of the biggest obstacles a strength conditioning coach has is to really make sure that athlete or that trainee realizes that what they're doing is in the gym or the weight room or where have you is not only it takes a back seat to their skills training, but it's still a very vital part of their overall program, but it's not the entire program, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? The idea is, kind of like this guy I was talking to yesterday, a buddy of mine who is a trainer out of the San Francisco Bay Area. Said, you know what, we were talking about, some of these programs for MMA, and these guys, they like to go out and develop these real super specific programs that try to mimic different moves and all this. And all that's a load of crap. You just get in the gym, you get as strong as possible, you get as conditioned as possible, and then go do your skills training, and I guarantee you're going to be a damn good fighter, 1-9, clear the line.